My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
What happened to Riff Raff?
We do the interview. It's actually kind of dope. He has this crazy personality. We take him shopping. I take him to the Gucci store and buy him some camera. And, it does well. It gets a whole bunch of views.
Shit, just doing what I do.
Darker than a midnight fist, darker than a black hole mixed with a galaxy gap.
I think we do another interview, and then for 7, 8 years, we don't do anything. You know what I mean? We reached out, a couple times we're supposed to do some shit. He cancels last minute, whatever, life goes on, whatever. We do this interview, and he hits me up after the fact and was like, yo, I've been hearing that you pay for, people like Boosie, I heard they be getting a bag or whatever else. You need to pay me $5,000 for that interview.
You don't regret putting the numbers up? Like, you know how Netflix don't put the numbers up? They just show you this is the #1 interview. Yeah. Because by you putting the numbers up, somebody thought that they owed you or you owed them.
I mean, that's always going to be the case, right? Meaning that...
That's weird.
Like, whether there's money changing hands or not, when you sit down and do something like this, it's a business deal.
Yes.
Right? I understand that I'm going to come here and give you the most valuable thing that I own, my time, for as long as you want.
Thank you.
And you could ask me,
Yes.
there are a few stipulations that we talked about, but in general, you could ask me whatever you want, and you're going to take this and you're going to monetize it, and you're going to make money off that. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it for my own personal reasons. You know what I'm saying? And whatever our arrangement is our arrangement. Maybe I'm getting $1 million to do this interview. Maybe I'm doing it because I want the publicity. Maybe I'm doing it because of our relationship. You know what I mean? Maybe at one point I might call you and ask to do my platform.
Right.
It's a deal on some sort, whether spoken or unspoken, but coming into it, everyone pretty much understands. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I understand, whatever you make, right? But what happens sometimes, and especially if a person isn't where they want to be, they'll be like, all right, well, this video really made a lot for you. Why don't you break me off?
Two more other artists talking to you.
Whoever. I've had this conversation with people. You know what I mean? I'll bring one up, like Riff Raff. Right? Riff Raff, I gave Riff Raff one of his early interviews. Diplo called me up. You know how we get these phone calls. You know what I mean? Diplo, Vlad, I was rocking with Diplo at the time and, whatever else. He's like, yo, I just signed this artist named Riff Raff. Can you get him on your show? Oh, okay, checked him out. Oh, okay, this dude's entertaining. You know what I mean? Called him up.
Diplo gives you his number, you call.
Yeah, he connected us. I hit him up. He's in New York. We do the interview. It's actually kind of dope. He has this crazy personality. We take him shopping. I take him to the Gucci store and buy him some shit on camera. And, it does well. It gets a whole bunch of views. I think we do another interview, and then for 7, 8 years, we don't do anything. You know what I mean? We reached out. A couple times we're supposed to do some shit. He cancels last minute, whatever. Life goes on, whatever. We do this interview, and he hits me up after the fact and was like, yo, I've been hearing that you pay for, people like Boosie, I heard they be getting a bag or whatever else. You need to pay me $5,000 for that interview. I'm not going to give you $5,000 for this. It didn't even do well. You know what I mean? The energy was all...
The interview's out. And the
interview's already out. It's already out. It didn't do well. It did relatively low numbers because he was just really kind of... wasn't the same Riff Raff. He was sort of a little depressed and kind of more guarded and, you know, life had happened and whatever happened. It wasn't a very interesting interview. And the numbers showed it. He's like, yo, I want like $5,000. I'm like, well, man, like if we had had a conversation about this ahead of time, there might have been a compensation, but we never had that conversation. All right, we'll take my shit down then. I'm not taking shit down.
Right.
That.
Right.
Came in, you signed release forms, we spent our money, I did my job, you got your promotion, whatever else. And it's like that type of shit happens. People start counting your money and people start to feel like they're entitled to certain type of things and stuff like that. But that's not the agreement. You know, if this interview got 50 million views, if this became the new Cat Williams interview, I know it won't. But I'm saying if it did, I'm not going to call you and ask you for a check.
Right.
I can guarantee you that.
Right.
100%.
In the quiet suburbs of Houston, Texas, a shy, middle-class kid named Horace Christian Simcoe dreamed of something more. He loved attention, always had, but no one could have predicted the insane lengths he would go to seize it, or the seismic shift he would trigger within the culture. This is the story of Riff Raff, the self-proclaimed neon icon, a figure who disrupted hip-hop, became a blueprint for a new era, and then, perhaps, taught the ultimate lesson about the relentless price of fame.
Buy a Burberry blender, raspberry paint with the buttercream center. Carrot color diamond, then it look like Simba. Life ain't dizzy and show ain't cheap. On a Ziploc charge for the vacuum fee.
You just did the pod, how's it feel?
I feel great, and it's time. It's my time to shine.
He was obsessed early on with basketball, wrestling, and Vanilla Ice. Even in elementary school, he was meticulously laying out his clothes, ensuring his boxers and socks matched. By high school, the subtle experiments began, culminating in a senior year prank involving so many stink bombs that it got him kicked out just a month before graduation. These early skits were merely a prelude to the alien life form that would soon emerge.
The hardest part about being me is like when you balling on such an eccentric level, like it's keeping your finances like budget below standard, because like if I'm balling and I'm spending like $10,000 a day, then I'll be like, okay, that's not enough. I need to be spending like $20,000 a day.
The early 2000s, in a relentless pursuit of a baller lifestyle, he funded this ambition through a string of odd jobs, factory work, furniture schlepping, painting cars, and even, as the whispers went, illegal activities like selling ecstasy to cover his share of the rent. It was during this period, around 2003, that the alter ego of Riff Raff fully materialized. He began recording his own music, distributing CDs across Houston, igniting a curiosity about the crazy white kid on the block. People weren't sure whether to be offended or entertained, unsure if he was mocking rap culture or genuinely embodying something new.
He's ready. Fix that. Gotta heat up. Yeah, see? Heat it up. Heat it up.
40 be the chariot, American. Step out the Navy coupe, neon blue saber tooth, verified the gravy coupe, suit is Armani, lukewarm like.
Yeah.
Open up some type of memory foam juice where it expands, and you can explain to me some terms that maybe they don't teach you in school. Maybe they don't have this in science class 101 in Harvard. You know what I mean? So you got to politically and technically break down some statutory standpoints for your diversification and for your diligency, you know?
His career then took another unconventional turn. After a falling out with Soulja Boy, who briefly managed him, his phone number, famously dropped in one of his freestyles, caught the ear of MTV VJ and rapper Simon Rex. Rex convinced Riff Raff to move to Los Angeles, offering him a couch and a partnership that blossomed into the rap group 3 Loco. This was a pivotal moment. Soon, he was collaborating with established rappers like Chief Keef, Lil B, and Action Bronson.
Who I'm gonna sign next? SODMG. I always work with an artist before they pop off. Look at me and Migos. Look at me and Rich the Kid. Look at me and Mozzie. Look at me and Lil B. Look at me and Riff Raff. Look at me and Famous Dicks. How many rapper niggas I done worked with before they got popping, before they got their record deal? I'm always doing a song with a nigga before they get signed.
Fresh on fresh? They're gonna be like,
Golden children.
yes, sir.
Riff Raff, Soldier, Versace Bentley, straight and beyond. The epic shit. You see the chain, the charm.
Rocked out hater, iced out the cougar car. I'm looking like a snake, looking like Jake the Snake. I look like Fred Lumber. I give a fuck about your mama. I drag bombs.
But swagged up, shout out Riff Raff, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You already know. We too dope, man. You know, A-Golf, Ocean Gang.
You already know about the Ocean Gang, man.
Lil Dre, Ocean Gang, Riff Raff, SOD.
See, mine is in the dry cleaner. Mine is in the dry cleaner.
We on Fairfax, chillin', man. LA, man. Y'all already know. We finna splash out for 2012. Happy New Year's, bitch. I'm out.
Facebook.com/CEO Tyler Online. That's for the Facebook. For the Twitter, @ IDI Media GFX.
50 nigga, 13. Everybody smoking, more green.
Yeah.
I mixed the perk with them beans, nigga.
Rocked out hater, iced out the cougar car. I'm looking like a snake, looking like Jake the Snake. I look like Fred Lumber.
Then came the endorsement that solidified his trajectory. In 2012, Diplo, the visionary producer, signed the future star to his Mad Decent Records label. Diplo famously likened finding Riff Raff to discovering an Apple computer in 1971 full of potential. Years later, he would reflect on Riff Raff's first album as one of the most groundbreaking hip-hop albums of its time, noting how young rappers, particularly those under 15, were inspired by his unabashed self-expression on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it was like my first debut album. It's like where I would say is like the definition of like, I became a real artist, like not like seen as an internet artist. I mean, he had it's a complete full album with huge names and great artists and great production, and Diplo produced the whole thing. I mean, and I just like, I mean, to this day, like right now, I probably have 1,000 songs that aren't released. Like every day, every week, I make at least 5 to 10 songs. So regardless if I'm dropping albums or not, I have that much music that I just continuously make.
He had arrived not just as an artist, but as a phenomenon. He treated his body of work like a giant vision board. He created multiple alter egos, each one adding layers to his borderline self-parodying swagger. Many saw him as a living commentary, pushing the boundaries of what was considered authentic. Swishahaus's Ron C., an iconic Houston figure, even attested to the sincerity of Riff Raff's act, stating it was not a joke. He wasn't merely playing a character, he was the character, having fun as he rose. He became a pioneer, breaking down barriers for the far-fetched side of the industry. His movement aimed to tell people not to take things too seriously. His visuals were everything. His music videos were always the focal point, dwarfing his Spotify numbers compared to his YouTube views. He wanted to harness publicity, even fabricating controversies like an alleged $10 million lawsuit against the makers of the film Spring Breakers for allegedly stealing his image. His rise was a masterclass in calculated chaos and performative authenticity.
He's gonna probably win a Grammy based on, you know, obviously the style is based on me. Obviously, I mean, I don't have to say that. If people see the pictures, they think it's me. And sometimes if I see the picture, I'm like, is that me or is that James Franco? Millions are gonna come in off this. Millions are coming in. You know what I'm saying? I still gotta get my braids redone before my show tonight. A little more ice on the hands and the wrist. I mean, he had obviously some ice and hands on wrist. You know what I'm saying? But you got, I mean, if you're trying to go polar bear, if you're trying to go Arctic.
But the story doesn't end there. He would somehow find a reason to ask Vlad TV for $5,000 for an old interview, which Vlad would have no problem exposing. In the fast-evolving music industry, where innovation is quickly adopted and often surpassed, a new challenge emerged. Riff Raff's unique blueprint, once so groundbreaking, became a common language. The very style he pioneered, the outlandish visuals, the meme-worthy antics, became integral to the next wave of artists, most notably figures like 6ix9ine. While he was the trailblazer, teaching that it doesn't matter what you're doing or how you get there as long as it's making you famous, his own numbers began to plummet. Unlike 6ix9ine, who claimed to be a gangster only to later become an informant, Riff Raff never deceived himself and never claimed to be something he wasn't. He remained true to his character, a harmless oddity rather than a perceived scourge on the industry. Because of this, he was stamped by people like Sway to Snoop Dogg, offering him endorsements, recognizing him as an avid fan who found an unlikely entryway. Yet, his fans moved on. The comically gaudy ice and colorful hair that defined his early success were no longer enough. As his former label boss Diplo subtly implied, your appeal will always have an expiration date if you simply refuse to evolve. And so, the architect of a new era of hip-hop found his mainstream visibility declining, not from a dramatic downfall, but from the natural progression of his small part of the culture that had absorbed his lessons and continued its evolution. He had opened the door, but others walked through it and kept running.
Let me get that skunk gang again. Let me get that skunk gang again.
My niggas, crucify my niggas. You never still wanna walk, fuck boy.
You hear me? You got one house right here, 2 houses right here, 3 houses right here, 4 houses right here, 5 houses right here, maybe 2 houses right there. You feel me?
He forged a path for the new era, influencing countless internet-savvy MCs and teaching that people could laugh at themselves. But the trailblazer, by nature, is often left behind as the trail becomes a highway. So what is he up to today? And why did Vlad TV feel the need to air out his attempt to collect $5,000 over an old interview?
Every morning I wake up at the crack of dawn, and that's usually what time that on Google the sun comes up, and then I see what time I wake up. So that's, what is it, 4:32? 4:32. And I get up, I stumble down the hall, or I do a little roll, some type of roll. Then I crack open a kinetic, I brush my teeth, all of them, make sure you get every single one and your tongue. Then I get another kinetic, one for the ice right here. I'm a busy man, I don't have time to go in a full body cold plunge, so I just go splish splash, face bath. After I do the cold plunge, I like to do a nice warm up hot plunge. And I pour some kinetic in there, get a nice mixture where it's kind of like a melted fudge flavored temperature, and it warms me face up. Face jacuzzi. Then it's about that time to go back to sleep.
When I was a young boy, I very rarely spoke. And when I did, I'd stutter and they'd laugh like I'm a joke. Will you love me? Even if it's only in my dreams, will you meet me? Breathe me back to reality.
He forged a path for the new era, influencing countless internet-savvy MCs and teaching that people could laugh at themselves. But the trailblazer, by nature, is often left behind as the trail becomes a highway. So what is he up to today? And why did Vlad TV feel the need to air out his attempt to collect $5,000 over an old interview?